Good morning students, I am Maushmi Prasad and creator of this channel Digital Generation. This channel is regarding chapter wise preparation for both ICSE and CBSE students. I hope you will get best knowledge and explanation from this channel. Today we are going to study about Ohm's law. Ohm's law gives the relationship between potential difference and current. According to Ohm's law, at constant temperature, current flowing in the circuit is directly proportional to potential difference across its two ends. Let I be the current flowing in the circuit and V be the potential difference. Then I is directly proportional to V, or we can write that V is directly proportional to I. This means that when potential difference increases, current flowing in the circuit also increases, and potential difference decreases, current flowing in the circuit also decreases. Now V is equal to Ri. This R is constant called resistance. So what is the value of R? R means V by I is equal to R. This is Ohm's law. V by I is equal to R. This is Ohm's law. From the formula V by I is equal to R, which is Ohm's law, we can find out any values if any two quantities are known to us. Now from here I is equal to V by R. This is clear that I, or current flowing in the circuit, is directly proportional to the potential difference, and current flowing in the circuit is inversely proportional to the resistance of the conductor. This means that when current flowing in the circuit is double, potential difference is also double, and when current flowing in the circuit is half, potential difference is also halved. Similarly, if current flowing in the circuit is double, resistance in the circuit becomes half, and if current in the circuit is half, then resistance becomes double. So current, so here strength of the current depends on potential difference and resistance of the conductor. Now we are going to study about the resistance of the conductor. We know that electrons flow in the conductor. So while flowing the electrons, what happens? They collide with each other. Due to this collision, they face some opposition or obstruction in the flow of the electrons, and this opposition or obstruction which they faces is known as resistance. So what is the resistance? Resistance is the property of a conductor in which it faces the opposition or obstruction in the flow of electrons. Now SI unit of resistance is ohm, and it is ohm is denoted by the letter omega. So we can say that R is equal to V by I. R is ohm, V means potential difference, and I means current flowing in the circuit, ampere. So 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt by 1 ampere. So what is 1 ohm? The value of 1 ohm is that resistance which is connected in the circuit when the potential difference is 1 volt across its two ends and current flowing through it is 1 ampere. While using the formula V by I is equal to R, we can solve numerical problems. Number 1, if the potential difference between 2 points of a wire carrying 2 ampere current is 0.1 volt, then calculate the resistance. Here potential difference is given, V is equal to 0.1 volt and current is equal to 2 ampere. Then R is equal to V by I is equal to 0.1 by 2 is equal to 0.05 ohms. This is the resistance in this circuit. Now second problem, an electric circuit has a 24 volt battery and a resistance of 60 ohms. What will be the current in the circuits? Here potential difference is given, V is equal to 24 and resistance R is given 60 ohm. So we have to find out the electric current in the circuit. I is equal to V by R is equal to 24 by 60 is equal to 0.4 ampere. Thus the current in the circuit is 0.4 ampere. Now the third example is an electric iron draws a current of 3.4 ampere from the 220 volt supply line. What current will the electric iron draw when connected to 110 volt? Now in first case what is given? Volt is 220 and here current is 3.4 ampere. So So we have to find the resistance in the first case. Resistance is equal to V by R. V is equal to 220 by 3.4 is equal to 64.7 ohms. Thus resistance in the circuit is 64.7 ohms. Now in the second case, what happens? This is connected to the volt of 110. So here V becomes 110 volt. R is same 64.7 calculated above, and now we have to find out the current it will draw. Current is equal to V by R is equal to 110 by 64.7 is equal to 1.7 ampere. Thus electric iron will draw current of 1.7 ampere when it is connected to a volt of 110 power supply line. Now we will see VI graph. VI graph means volt means potential difference and current graph. If the volt are placed on x axis and corresponding currents are placed in y axis, and we will put the value, then we will find that if we join all the points, a straight line curve is obtained which passes through the origin. This straight line is obtained in a graph only when the two quantities are in proportion to each other. That means here current is directly proportional to V. This also verifies the Ohm's law. To verify the Ohm's law in the laboratory, we will take a resistance wire R and place a voltmeter parallel to it. Here we will place a meter in series which will read the current in the circuit. Here we will place switch, here the battery, and here we will place rheostat. Rheostat has variable resistance. This is the sliding C. Now if we press the switch, then current flows in the circuit. Then we will note out the potential difference here V, and also current flowing in the circuit A. Current flowing in the circuit by ammeter. Then R1 will be V1 by I1. Rheostat is adjusted here in such a way that in first case only a little amount of current flows through the circuit. Now we will increase the current flowing in the circuit by changing the slide in point C. We will decrease the resistance, so current flow will increase. Again we will note down R2 is equal to V2 by I2. In this way we will take 3 or 4 steps in which V and I are recorded by voltmeter and ammeter. From this conclusion we can draw that the value of R is equal to V by I is always constant. And if we draw a graph with these values of V1 and I1, V2, I2, V3, I3, we will get a graph which passes through the origin, that is the straight line graph. This also verifies Ohm's law. So in this way, by using rheostat, we can verify Ohm's law in the laboratory, that the as the current flows increases, potential difference also increases, and so the resistance in each case always remains the constant. R1, R2, R3 all will have the same value. If R1 is 17 ohm, then R2 will also be 17 ohm. And similar way R3 will also be 17 ohm. So the value of resistance is always constant, that is V by I is equal to R, which follows the Ohm's law, is always constant. Factors affecting the resistance of the conductor. Resistance of the conductors depends on the following factors. First of all, it depends on length. By experiment, it has been found that resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to length. That is, when length increases, resistance of the conductor also increases, and when length decreases, resistance of the conductor also decreases. So we see that long wire have more resistance than short wire. Now if the length is double, then resistance also get double, and length is half, resistance is also half. Now we can consider the double length of the wire to be equivalent to 2 resistors connected together in series, and the resultant resistance will be the sum of 2 resistors, which is double the resistance of the original value. So we can see that length is double means 2 resistors connect together in series having double resistance than the single resistor. effect of area of cross section on the resistance. It has been found by experiment that resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. That is, when area of cross section is double, resistance become half, and when area of cross section is half, resistance become double. Area of cross section depends upon the thickness of wire. So thick wire has less resistance and thin wire has more resistance. Now if we take a thick wire, we consider it to be the collection of two thin wires connected in parallel, and their resultant resistance will be half the original value of the resistance, because the resistance when connected in parallels are always half the original value. So thick wire can be considered as the two thin wires connected together in parallel. Now area of cross section or thickness of the wire depends on the diameter. It has also been found that resistance of the conductor is inversely proportional to the square root of the diameter. So when diameter is double, see, when diameter is double, what happens? Resistance becomes 1/4, and when diameter is half, then resistance becomes 4 times. And when diameter is triple, then what happens? Resistance becomes 1/9. So resistance of the conductor depends on the resistance of the conductor is inversely proportional to square of its diameter. Now effect of nature of material of the conductor. All the metals have different resistance. So if we take two resistors of equal length and thickness such as copper and nichrome, then we will find the resistance of, they are of equal thickness and length. This is copper and this is nichrome wire. We will find the resistance of nichrome is 60 times more than copper, because nichrome is a metal alloy and it has comparatively high resistance than pure metal copper. So we can say that materials is most important thing in determining the resistance of the conductor. That is, resistance depends on the material of the conductor of which it is made. Now effect of temperature on conductors. We have seen that when temperature of the metal increases, then their resistance also increases, and when temperature decreases, the resistance of the conductor also decreases. But in case of metal alloys like nichrome, constantan, manganese, and in case of insulators like rubber, plastic, etc., there is no effect of temperature on resistance. But in case of semiconductors, what happens? It is just the opposite of metal. Semiconductors like germanium and silicon. Germanium and silicon are two semiconductors. In this, what happens? If temperature increases, then resistance decreases, and when temperature decreases, resistance increases. So just the inverse. When temperature increases, resistance decreases. When temperature decreases, resistance increases. So in semiconductors, we find that it is just the opposite of metal. So semiconductors like silicon and germanium are used in making transistor and solar cells. In our next video, we will study about resistivity of metals. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please do like and share this video and subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, then please comment below. I will try to answer as early as possible.